Hi, all of you. Good morning. Good. Are you able to see my screen? Someone's mic is open. Yes. Okay, so yesterday we saw about the Docker. Okay, we started with the theory part of the Docker. We discussed why faster provisioning of the operating system is necessary. Today we are going to see the practical of the Docker. So again, Docker lab is already uploaded. The first thing what you have to do is you have to launch a EC2 instance. Okay, and in the security group, normal thing, just you have to enable the HTTP. And that's all. You have to log in using that button. So let me create quickly. Launching a new instance. Maven Linux g2.micro here. Allow HTTP traffic from the internet. Okay, launch instance. And now if I'll quickly go here, check whether our instance got started or currently it is in the pending. Now we are going to correct all this. Become the root user. Now, yesterday I talked about the Docker app. Anybody try to create the account on the Docker app? Have you tried to create the account on the Docker app? No? Yeah, free account only you have to create that. So, so just make sure that you have this Docker Hub account ready with you. Now let's come with our practical. So first you launch the machine. Now the first thing we'll be going to do is we are have to install the Docker. To install this Docker, again same thing. First become the root user, then just check that any update or something requires a yum update -1. There is no update. Simply install the Docker, yum install Docker -1. Press enter. It is going to install the Docker. Once the Docker will be installed, so again the three commands. First we have to check whether Docker is started or not. Okay, so we have to start the Docker and we have to enable this Docker. So whenever we'll restart our machine, Docker should be done. So currently, if I do systemctl status Docker, will be in active state. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to start. We start simply to systemctl start Docker. Okay, and to enable it, simply you have to say systemctl enable Docker. This command you have to run it. Okay, and then you have to check the status. The status. So you'll see that it is enabled and it is run. Once this you are able to see this is enabled and running, that means well and good. And now you are ready to do with the Docker practical. So now in the Docker, there are some commands that we are going to understand. So to launch a Docker container is just like a EC2 instance or just like a laptop. So whenever I'm saying the container, just in your background, it should be similar to something like we are creating a new EC2 instance or we are buying a new laptop, something like this. Okay. So the basic requirement of a EC2 instance or a laptop, what it will be. You will require an operating system, right? Yesterday we talked. Operating system is the basic requirement. And from where operating system will be going to come? Where operating system is going to come from the images. Okay. So you have to simply write here, Docker. Can you show me the list of images present? Okay, and just press enter. So currently you are seeing that there is no image, nothing present here. Okay. Now, if you remember in the yesterday class, I talked about that all the images, whatever you are going to use, will be available here. Do you remember that? I said, right? All the images that ever we are going to use, everything is present somewhere. At what location it is present?
Docker Hub.
Yeah, Docker Hub, it is present there. So take an example. You are saying me that I want to use this Amazon Linux itself. Okay. So Amazon Linux is the Linux that is only available with the Amazon. Okay. But if you try to search on the internet, like Amazon Linux, based on which image, okay, so you'll get the answer like CentOS 7, something like this. And see here, Amazon Linux 2 is CentOS 7. So if you are using the CentOS 7, that means you are using the Amazon Linux. Until now, we are compatible with the Amazon Linux. So what I'm going to do is I will search to the Docker Hub. Do we have anything related to CentOS? They are giving us the details. They are saying if you want to search for the CentOS 7, something like this. Okay. So what you have to do is CentOS 7 is available. Okay. And if you want to pull, you have to hit this command, CentOS 7. Okay. And what will be the command? Docker pull CentOS. Like that, currently, if you pull Docker pull CentOS only, then by default, 7 CentOS version 9 will be downloaded. Okay. By default, CentOS, I think currently 9 is there. Yeah, it will be the 9 only. Okay. But if you want to use the CentOS version 7, so you have to do CentOS and then column and then 7. Okay. So something like this. Docker. I require an image, okay, because I want to launch a container or something. For that, image is the main thing. So Docker, can you pull CentOS, okay, and version, let's keep it CentOS 7, okay, and I'll press it. That's all. Okay, they're downloading this image from the internet. Now, once the image is downloaded, if I'll say, Docker, can you again show me the list of the images present in my machine? So they are clearly saying that one machine image you downloaded from the internet, that is CentOS, version is 7. Okay, created. This image was created back 17 months ago, and the size of the image is 204 MB. Why size is only 204 MB? Why not GB? So I said you that your operating system consists of two parts. One is the software part, other is the kernel. Okay. So kernel is going to be the same for every Linux. Okay. Only the software part is getting be different. So 95% of size consists of the kernel only. Okay. So that's why only the 5% data we require, because this Amazon Linux, currently we are using which, see, let me show you, cat/OS release. So this is Amazon Linux currently, right? This is our EC2 instance where we run this command cat/etc/OS. And this is running on the Amazon Linux and it is based on the CentOS. Okay. Now, this is using some type of the kernel or something else, right? So this, whenever I am going to launch the container with the help of the CentOS 7, this container is going to use the kernel directly of the Amazon Linux only, what Amazon Linux is using. That's why they don't require that much resource. Let's clear this. Again, first command, Docker. I want to see me by images. CentOS 7 is there. Now, if somebody want to say that Docker, can I start a container from this? Yeah, do you want to say something, anybody?
Sir, good morning.
Yeah.
Sir, actually in the documentation, they mentioned which OS you have to install. That people are, we have to.
Your mic is off.
Sir, in the documentation, they mention which OS we have to install, or we have to.
Which documentation?
Actually, in the real time, they mention which OS we have to install in the doc.
Yeah, definitely
for
they
doc.
will mention it. Yeah, definitely they will mention it, right? They will mention it. See, if somebody is saying you that you have to use the Mac OS, so they will mention you now that your application is going to be run on Mac. If somebody is saying you that your applications will be running on the same OS, so they will mention it. Everything will be there, right? So I want to run. Okay, I want to run a container. So what you will be doing? Take an example. You are launching a EC2 instance. After launching the EC2 instance, what is the first work you do? Anybody? That after launching the EC2 instance, what is the first thing you do in the EC2 instance?
Sudo user.
Before sudo user, what we do? Sudo user we do after doing something, right? Like take an example, just on the AWS cloud, we launched the EC2 instance. After this, what we do? To run any command, what we do for the EC2 instance? We require a connectivity, right? Like basically either using the PuTTY software or SSH or EC2 connect, by which we can access the terminal. So our final goal is to access the terminal of EC2 instance where we can run the command. Is my sound is coming low for everybody? Or is it good? Others can confirm. Is my sound is low? What happened to all of you? Is my sound is low? So for others, it is clear. I think your side, the network problem is there. Okay. I don't know. For some of it, people sound is coming correct. Some of people sound is not coming correct. Nikhil, are you able to hear me correctly?
Yes, thank it's audible.
So Ram, it is from your side. Just try to check the network. Okay, so the first thing we require is the terminal. So terminal, we want the interactive terminal, basically where we can write some command, where we can some get it output. Like this is a EC2 instance, right? I connected to this EC2 instance using PuTTY software. And this is the terminal screen they give it. Here I can run the ls command, whatever the output will come, it will be visual here itself. Okay, this is an interactive terminal. What I want is that first I want to launch a container. After the container will be launched, I want that I should get an interactive terminal where I can run some commands or something. So I will simply say Docker. Again, somebody want to say something? Docker. You have to run a container. Okay. And give me the interactive terminal for this. That's why IT, where I am going to write some command, output should come. So just give me interactive terminal. And let's give Docker run -it. And I'm going to use the image is CentOS 7. That's all. That was thing from Docker. I want to run a container. Give me the interactive terminal and use the image CentOS 7. Just press enter. I will be going to press enter and you will see a new operating system is going to come. See, new operating system is launched. This is not our EC2 instance. How you can verify quickly? Simply to ls. See here in this ls, there are so many files, everything present. But here in this ls, that is not present. Here, if I'll do cat/etc/os release, if you remember in our EC2 instance, it was showing Amazon Linux. Here it will show something different, CentOS 7. Okay, that means this is a different operating system currently we are using. And whatever the command you want to do, like basically what we do in the normal machine, somebody is saying me that can you create directory here? So I can hit the command directory 1, directory 2, directory will be created. Somebody is saying that can you go inside this directory one. So I can go inside that also. Can I create some file here, like touch file 1, file 2? Okay, so file is also created. Now, if I want to add some content inside this, can we write it? So yes, I can do that also. Okay, I'll command output in the file 2. WD output in the file 2. Like this way, we can do everything, whatever you want to do in this machine. Again, I will go back, cd.out. And if I want to exit, like now my work is completed in this container. I created 2 directory with the name directory 1 and directory 2. I created some file inside the directory 1. Okay. Now my work is completed for this container. I will simply exit. So I came out, again, I came to our local machine. Okay, that is basically our EC2 instance. Again, I will clear and I will ask that Docker, I launched a container. Can you give me the list of that? So simply hit the command Docker, yes, press enter. So currently they are saying there is no container running. If I ask to the Docker, can you show me the list of all the container, either it is running or even it is in the stopped state? So -a. So see, they are saying that 2 minutes ago, somebody started the CentOS 7 image. Okay. And they exited a 28-second ago. And the name of that container is Boldberg. Okay, they are giving some random name. Now, again, if somebody want to use the exact same container, okay, like again, you are going to use the same machine. I want to see my file back. How we can go? So I have to simply say Docker, there is a container present. Okay. See, if I'll hit the again this command Docker run -it and CentOS 7. So this time again, what will happen? A new container will be launched. Basically, a new EC2 instance will be launched. So whatever the file we created, take an example. I'm going inside this again. Again, this is a new container. How you can verify? Do ls. There is no directory 1. There is no directory. Okay. In this, let's create a folder called directory A. Okay. Directory A. And let's go inside this directory A. And here, let's create a file with the name file A, file B. Okay. And let's and exit from here. So now there are 2 containers. Okay. And both the container are in the stopped state because we exited from there. So Docker ps-a, 2 containers there. One container name is this one. One container is named this one. This container contains the directory A. This container contains the directory 1 and directory 2. So if somebody want to use this machine again, so you have to use the command Docker. There is a container there. Can you start this container, copy this name and paste it here. Either you can copy the name or either you can copy the ID of the container. So once they are doing it, let me make it bigger. Okay. So this Docker container started. Now if you do Docker PS, can you show me the list of the running container? So see, they are saying that 4 minutes ago container was created, but 14 seconds ago somebody started that container. That's why it is showing as up. Now your container is again started. Now it is running. That's why it is showing in the Docker PS category. And the stop container will be visible in ps-a. And even Docker ps-a, you'll see the running and stop container both. So see, here it is up 34 seconds. This one is coming as exited. That means it is in a stopped state. Now once this container is started, now how I can run some commands inside this container again? Okay, so simply I have to say Docker, I want to be attached, okay, to the container name Boldberg. So either you can copy paste the name or you can copy the ID of the container, both the things you can do. Press enter. See, again, I came inside that machine. Now if I'll do ls, directory 1 is also visible, directory 2 is also visible. If I'll go inside the directory 1, you will be able to see that file 1, file 2, file 3 is there. If I'll try to read the file, git command output will be there. Okay, file 2, calendar output, file 3, pwd output will be there. So that means this is the exact same container what we were using. Again, if I want to exit it from this container, simply I will do exit and I will came out. And again, this container went in the stop state. That's why it is not showing in the PS. It will show always in the Docker PS-. See, somebody exited that container 8 seconds. Similarly, again, if you want to start this container this time, so again, copy the name of this container and just say Docker, I want to start this container. Once the container is started, simply say Docker, I want to be attached to this container so I can run some command. That's all. I again came to this message. Here you will be able to see directory A. Directory A is there. Let's go inside directory A. You will be able to see the file. A file will. So like this way you can do. Again, you will do exit. Again, you will come back here. Okay. Again, you'll see that Docker container is. So like this way you can do. You can create a new container. You can go inside the container. You can create the file. Whatever you want to do in the Linux, everything you can do. So up to here, is it clear? So see, 3 to 4 command I shown you now, right? Docker ps, Docker start, Docker run, Docker pull. And that's why I'm giving you 2 to 3 times example so you can see. Just try to understand how it is going to work. Command anytime you can remember by seeing the lab files or by seeing the documents. Okay. Here in the class, just focus on the understanding. Okay? Don't focus on I am not able to remember the command, I am forgetting the command. Okay. As a human being, you cannot remember the commands in a single way. Okay? Everything comes with the practice. So that's why just focus on why we are using the command. What is the use case of Docker image command that you remember? Command anytime you can search it on the Google. Okay. Nobody is going to tell you that why you are searching it in the Google in Office. Okay. So that's you can keep in mind. So again, one image is there. Now take an example. You want to use the Ubuntu container, something like this. Okay. Now I don't want to use the CentOS image. I want to use the Ubuntu. Okay. So again, you can do it. Simply you have to say Docker. I want to pull Ubuntu image. Okay, again, it's totally on you which version you want to download. Ubuntu 18, Ubuntu 17, Ubuntu 22. Latest is the Ubuntu 22. Okay, so just if you don't write anything after this, any tag or something, then it is going to by default download the latest version of the Ubuntu. So let's download the latest version of Ubuntu. Just press enter. It's going to the Docker Hub. So they are downloading this. And once the image is downloaded, if you do Docker, can you show me the list of images? So say now 2 images is present. 1 to 1, it was created 3 weeks ago only. And only 77 MB size is there. Now, if somebody is saying that Docker, what I want to do is I want to run. And also one more thing, let me show you this time. Docker -a. So every time you are seeing the random name is coming here. Okay. So take an example, you don't want to get this random name. So what you have to do is Docker. I want to run a container. So simply Docker run. I want an interactive terminal. So just give it -it. See, there is no limit. Huh? You can do unlimited. It's totally on you. There is no limit. If your laptop have the enough space, if your laptop has enough RAM, you can go endlessly. It is same question like you are asking that in my laptop, how many files I can download. It's unlimited until and unless your entire hard disk space is getting filled. You can download how many files, whatever you want. Same thing here. See, not as a client requirement. It depends on like whatever the project you are working on, whatever the application you are working on. If your application is going to run on the CentOS, you will be installing CentOS. If your application is going to be run on the Ubuntu, then you will be using the Ubuntu. Like that way you are good. So it totally depends on the application to application. See, we don't have to decide by ourselves. Okay, even in some situation you have to decide by yourself. Also, in some situation they will give you idea. Also, okay. There is basically a team working on, right? There will be some senior DevOps engineer, there will be some junior DevOps engineer, there will be some intern. Everybody will mutually decide that which operating system is going to work well in this microservices. Okay, whatever our requirement is there. If some application they are using like Java code or something, that Java code is compatible only with the Ubuntu or Red Hat. Okay, so they will use that operating system only. So it depends on situation to situation. Okay. So just like think like that on. Like take an example in a company. If you're going to work as a DevOps engineer or something, yeah. And for the DevOps engineer, Linux is the most important, right? If they're providing you the Mac laptop, Okay, what is the use of that, right? You cannot use the Linux anything on that. Cannot dual boot your laptop. But in case of the Windows, you can directly dual boot your laptop. So like this way, you can do it. So yeah, let me again come here. Docker run -it. Docker run -it. Okay. Now the name is coming random. Now, if you don't want to create the name or something as a random, so let's create our own container. I'm saying that the name of my container, I want to give it as Ubuntu OS, something like this. Okay, I want to give it my name, so I am giving this Ubuntu OS. So Docker run, you have to give me the interactive terminal, give my container name as Ubuntu OS, and which image you have to use? You have to use the Ubuntu image. That's all. Press enter. Either you can write Ubuntu latest, or you can not write it. In the as usual case, they are going to take the latest one off. Okay, so just press enter, and you'll see that one new container is getting lost. You see, this is lost in fraction of second. Now, if I'll say how I can say that this is a Ubuntu machine. So again, the simple thing, you have to read this file cat/etc/os-release. See here, it is clearly saying that you are using the Ubuntu 22.04 user. Okay, it is not the CentOS or Amazon. Again, here I will do ls, everything is there. Whatever the command you want to run in this, you can do it. Okay. And after running the commands, like take an example here also, we are creating a directory with the name something like Ubuntu. Okay. And let's go inside this Ubuntu directory. And let's create some file again here. Okay, like this way, and again exit it from here. Now, if I'll clear this, and if I'll do Docker, can you show me the list of all the stopped container? So they are saying 3 container till now you started. Okay. 2 of them you used the CentOS 7. 1 of them you use as a Ubuntu. Okay. Last one, Ubuntu was created 58 seconds ago. It was exited 5 seconds ago. And the name of the Ubuntu is the Ubuntu. They did not give any random name. When I specify hyphen name, so they given that name on. So like this way, you can do it whenever you want to start the container. And so anybody can tell me that how I can go inside this container again. Like I repeated 2 to 3 times, right? Currently it is in the stopped state. I want to go inside this Ubuntu machine again. See how I can maximize the screen now. This is the maximum screen, right? Still you are not able to see. Are you watching on a mobile phone or something? Others, you are not able to see the screen.
It's good. It's big enough for a monitor.
Right. It is a bigger screen. I maximize the screen also. I don't know. If you are watching it on mobile phone, try to watch the lectures on the laptop, right? So do it. So yeah, anybody tell me that how I can go inside this Ubuntu OS again? Two commands basically we use, right? So what are the commands? Connect. Is that connect is a command? No. Docker connect is we never use the connect, right? Attach. But before attach, we have to do something, right? Currently, your container is in the stopped state. So how you can attach it? Like if you want to connect any EC2 instance with the PuTTY without starting the instance, can you connect using PuTTY software? First, you have to start the EC2 instance, right? So same thing here. You have to first start the container. Docker, I want to start Ubuntu OS. Now, if I do Docker PS or PS-A, so we'll be able to see that it is up. Once it is up, that means it is running. Okay, once it is running, then only you can hit the command docker. I want to attach the Ubuntu OS. Then you'll be able to see the file whatever we created here. Okay, so we created the directory with the name Ubuntu. If you go inside this, file 1, file 2, file 3 present. But now take an example. Every time to come out of this container, what is the command I am hitting? Anybody? To come out of this container, what is the command I am hitting? Remember? Like to come out from this container, what is the command we are hitting? This is the exit, right? So you are using the exit. So whenever you are doing the exit, what is happening is in the background, they are first shutting down your laptop and then they are making you out come out. Okay. But now take an example. I don't want to shut down my laptop. Okay. I don't want to shut down my container. I want that my container should be in running state. So in that case, if I want to exit it, so you have to simply press Control plus P plus Q. Okay. Just these things you have to remember. Control plus P plus Q. Control P plus Q. I press 3 button, Control P Q, 3 button at the same time. Okay, and you will be come out from this. Now if you do Docker PS-A, you'll see still it is in the up state only. It is not exited. Okay. Now again, if I want to go inside this, okay, so you can now directly do Docker attach again. Why Docker attach again? Because it is already in the up state, so I don't have to again start it. There's a Docker attach. Again, give the Ubuntu OS. And I will be able to go inside this. Again, I will do exit, it will stop. But if I want to come out without stopping, I will simply do again Control PQ. Okay. And now again, if you do Docker PS-, still it is correct. Okay, so like this way, you can understand. So up to here, I shown you the command. Docker pull, Docker run, how to run the commands inside the container. What is the difference between PS and PS-A? How to give your own name to your container, Control plus P plus Q, okay, to exit without stopping the container. Okay. Now to stop any container, you can simply use the command Docker stop that container name. To start it, simply to Docker start and Docker attach to go inside that container again. Okay, start and attach, you have to remember it. Now if you want that there is so many commands in the Docker, how I can remember all the commands, everything. So always use the command Docker -help, get the help, and they will tell you that what are the command you can use it. Okay, so take an example. I know that there is a command called Docker run. Okay, but I don't know how to use it. So I will simply say that Docker, I know that there is a command called run, but how to use it? Can you tell me? So give -help, and they are saying you that there are so many options you can use. Okay, and what you have to do is you have to use the Docker. Then you have to give the command run, then you have to give some option, then give your image name, and then whatever the command you want to run. So in this option section, they are saying that you can write many things. If we are always writing -it, right? So see, they are saying -t is for the I is for interactive, here see. So I is for interactive, they are saying, and T is for the terminal, okay, TTY. So they are giving you the terminal basically. So IT always is in the terminal. Similarly, if you want to pull some image, so -p, like that way, they are giving so many options. So you can take that from there. So now currently, if I see only one container is running and 2 container is in the stop state. Okay. And let me show you that why Docker is beneficial. So currently, see, 1 container is running, 2 container is in the stop state. Okay. Now let's see the RAM. Okay. What is the RAM currently? 130 MB of RAM is free in my machine. I am using the EC2 instance of 1 GB RAM only, right? And in that 130 MB of RAM is currently free. Now take an example. I am starting this container. Okay, and let's check how much RAM it is consuming. So simply I will say Docker, can you start this container? Now again do free -m. See, from 130, still 124 MB RAM is free. So they only took 6 MB of RAM. 6 MB is very less RAM, right? Even your mobile phone comes with the 8 GB RAM, 6 GB RAM, 12 GB RAM. This 6 MB RAM is very less to launch an entire operating system. Similarly, let's launch one more. Docker, can you start this container also? Now if I'll do free-n, see 120, only 4 MB this time. Okay, so they are taking very less resources. Okay, so even in 1 GB RAM, I can run parallelly 7 to 8, 10 container also. There will be no any problem. Okay, because they are taking so much less RAM. That is the benefit here. Okay, now this is the container Docker ps-a. Currently, all the container are in the running state. Now, if you want to remove some container, okay, like in our is this one EC2 instance, what we do simply, if we don't use anything, we simply do terminate. Okay, terminate means we'll get lose all the data, everything, and this instance will be terminated for, and nobody can again connect to this. Okay, so if you want that your this container Boldbug or something, it is going to be terminated. Okay, so simply you have to do Docker. The first thing you have to do is you have to stop this container. Okay, you cannot terminate the running container. So first, Docker, can you stop this container? Boldbug. So now it is stopped. Let it be stopped. It will take few seconds time. Stop it. Okay, now it is stopped. Now if I do Docker ps-a, it is exited. Okay, once this container is exited, now you have to simply say Docker, I want to remove, okay, this container. Bold. Press. Now if I do Docker ps-a again, see that container is gone. Now nobody can access it. You deleted that container. So you use the simply rm command. But if you want to use the same rm command, okay, to remove a running container, this container is already running. Okay, and if I want to remove this container, and if I am saying here Docker, can you remove this container? So they will say I cannot remove it. Why? Because currently this container is in the running state. So let's see. It should give the error. I don't know why it is not giving the error. No. Try one more time. No. To remove. Okay, so yeah, this time it is saying you cannot remove a running container because currently this container is running, so you cannot remove it. But still you want to remove it, the running containers. Either you can stop the container and then you can remove, or you can simply use the command Docker. I know that this is a running container, but can you forcefully remove it? So simply use the -f. Press enter. This time it is going to delete it. Now if I do Docker ps, see, that is deleted. Only one container is. So like this way, you can remove the container also. So now one more thing. Let's quickly create 2 to 3 more container. Like Docker, can you create a container? And if I want to create a container, and I want that I don't want to access the terminal or something for now, so I can simply use the command -d for daemon. Okay, so it will be Docker will be running in the background itself. Okay, -dit you have to give and use the CentOS 7. So this time what you will see, I'll do this with the D. So we are not going to get any terminal screen or something. Simply they will say your container is started. That's all. I'm still in the EC2 user. Okay. Similarly, let's launch one more and launch one more, launch one more. Because the total 4 container we launched, we can check Docker ps-a. The 4 container is started and it is currently all are in the running state. Okay, up because I use the -d option, so it is running in the daemon. Okay, so everything is running, and these 4 given with some random name because we did not specify any -. Now these all 4 container are running. Still, if you see free -m, so there are still 119 MB RAM is available, so I can launch few more also. And there will be no issue. So in total, 5 container is running. Now somebody is telling you that, can you remove this container? Docker. Somebody is saying, can you remove this container, everything? So to remove this container, either first thing you will be doing always like Docker remove -f and give the name. Like this way, you have to do 5 times. Then only this all container will be deleted. Or you can do like this also, Docker. I want to remove -f. Rather than giving the name, you can give this ID also. In this case also, it will be deleted. Like if I'm deleting the Ubuntu OS, I'll press enter and you'll see that Ubuntu OS is deleted. Now only 4 is remaining. So either you give the ID or you can give the name. Both will be going to work. Now, once this is also done, so now I'm saying Docker, there is a container running with you. Okay, so container. Can you give me the list of all the container? ls for list, -a for all. Again, they are printing the exact same thing. Either you write Docker ps-a or either you write Docker container list-a. Both are printing the exact same thing. Now, simply I'm saying Docker container, there is a list you are giving everything, but I don't want all this detailed information. Can you just give me this container ID only, like only this 4 container ID, can you print it? I don't want this image, command, created, status, ports, names, this all information I don't. I simply say Docker container ls-a, you have to only give me the container ID. So for container ID, there is an option called Q, press enter, and only container ID is getting. They did not printed all this information. And our final goal is that we want this container ID to remove this container, right? We always hit the command Docker remove -m, then this container ID. So now we are getting this container ID. So we'll simply say Docker, I want to remove some container forcefully. Okay, but I'm not going to give you some container ID, something like this. Rather than I'm giving you a command. Okay, and that command is Docker container ls-a-q. What this command will be going to do is this command is going to give you this all container ID. And once you get all the container ID, simply delete this, because Docker remove command will be going to delete the container and they require a container ID. So rather than typing the container ID, I am saying that please run this command. If you run this command ls-a-q, you will get all the list of container ID. So you can delete all the container ID in a single go. I'll press enter and see they given all the list, everything, and everything is deleted. Now somebody will do Docker ps-a. Nothing is going to be visible because all the container is deleted in a single. What is the command we use? We use this Docker remove -f $docker container ls-a-. This command is giving the ID of the container. This command is deleting the container. Okay, is it okay?
Yes, sir.
So this thing is also done. That management command only I taught you, Docker container. So see, either you can write the command like this way from now on. Let me quickly launch one more container, Docker. Simply to run. If I want to run it in the background, -dit. If you want to access the terminal, I can give only totally on you, -dit, and let's launch CentOS 7 on. Press enter. And if I'll do ps, so one container is running. Okay, so either you can write Docker ps or either you can write Docker container or ls, both are same. Okay, or you can write Docker container ps also. It's totally on you which way you are going to write it. Docker container PS, Docker container LS, Docker PS. Okay, so everything you can use it. It is going to give the same one. Why people following this approach more? Because they say that if some people who don't know anything about Docker, okay, so how they will be able to know that somebody is hitting the command Docker PS, then it is printing the container only, running container only. So that's why they say that you should write the command like this, Docker, then give the container. So anybody who is reading the command who is not good with the Docker, so they should understand, okay, somebody is listing the container. That's why we are able to see the list. So that's why later they added the management command. But when the Docker was created the first time, that time there was no management command was available that time. Okay, people were directly using the Docker PS, Docker PS-A. But later they tried that many people will not understand. So simply write like this, Docker container ls to list all things. If you want to say all the list -a, you have to do. So like this way you can similarly you will say search for Docker -help. So they will give you so many others management command also. See, these all are the management command that we are using the currently container. Okay. And how we got all these things, like we have to use the option -a, -q only. So simply have to use the command Docker. I know that there is something called container. Can you give me the help about this? So they are saying in the container, what you can do is you can do the ls. ls is list containers. Okay. Once you get the list container, so simply do Docker. Now I know that there is a command called container ls. Okay, can you tell me the help about this? What option I can use? So they are saying if you are going to use -e, they are going to print all the container, whether it is running, whether it is stop. If you are going to use -q, see q option that we use, it will display only the container ID. That's where we get our work. Docker container ls -a -e. That's what we are getting only the container. From where we get the answer -q, only display container ID. Everything is written here. You have to just make sure how you are able to find the answer. Okay. And either you are writing the ls, either you are writing the ps, either you are writing the list. Everything is same. Okay. You can use this command like this way also. Docker container. In place of ls, just write like this ps -a -q. Still, it is going to give the same. In place of ps, you can give like list also. In this case, also it is going to give same output. All these three commands are same. Okay, so it's totally on you how you are using it. And how we got that these all three commands are same. So simply from alias, they are saying ls, ps, list, everything is same. So just try to read these documents, everything, you will get all the things. Tomorrow I will show you how you can create the custom image, why we require to create the custom image. Okay, and we'll try to cover some.
Just one question. So it's just consuming 4 MB of RAM currently because it's not running an application. But when we run an application inside the container, the usage will be much higher. Wouldn't it be?
It will be much higher, but that usage comes from your application, not from the operating system, right?
Yes, yes.
So that is the only benefit now. Like currently, this is my Windows laptop, right? How many applications I am using? Just see, one Brave browser, one File Explorer, one Adobe Reader, one Putty, one Joule, right? But if I open my task manager, they are taking so much resources. Okay, why? Because 4 and 5 GB of RAM is automatically getting consumed by Windows itself. Okay, so if you are just think like Windows is consuming you 5 GB of RAM, okay, from 8 GB RAM laptop. So you have only 3 GB of RAM to work for the application end, right? But in case of the Docker, if you are providing the Docker around 1 GB RAM, so they are just taking 4 MB of RAM for their use. Okay, still 900 MB RAM is free for your application. Okay, so that is the benefit. Your application gets more.
And just one more question. You said in an example that when we have applications running, I think it was in CI/CD pipelines or something. When the application is slow, then you can launch multiple containers. How does it launch? Is it something with the Elastic something? What is it called? The AWS version, or how does it launch automatically more containers?
We are not going to use the Docker container by default. Okay, for launching more container, we'll be going to use the Kubernetes. Okay.
Kubernetes. Okay. Okay.
Kubernetes is just like a manager. Okay. So I will tell to the Kubernetes that Kubernetes, I want to launch 5 containers. So it's totally now the headache of the Kubernetes, how they are going to launch 5 containers. Okay. So Kubernetes will be a tool which will manage all entire Docker. After Docker, we'll covering that.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody? Any other question? See, whoever created the Docker, they just created a Docker for hosting the operating system, everything, right? But once he created, then he got the real problem. He got the problem of the person who created, his name was Solomon Hayek. I think if I'm pronouncing it right. Solomon Hayek is there. So if you'll search it also, Docker founder. Yeah, Solomon Hayek. Okay, so he is the founder of the Docker. Okay. So when he created the Docker, he just created to solve the operating system problem. That's all. But the people started to come that now who will manage the container? If my container goes down, if my container getting stopped or something, my application is entire running, who will manage it? So later he created a software with the name Docker Swarm. Okay, if you search for the Docker Swarm. Docker Swarm is again a management tool they created, which manages the Docker container. But you see, people are asking, is Docker Swarm same as Kubernetes? This is not true. There are so many differences. But Docker Swarm is also helping you to manage the container. Kubernetes is also helping you to manage the container. But Kubernetes is getting more popular in the market. That's why we are covering the Kubernetes. Okay. Hope this now solves the problem. So, okay, let's continue tomorrow. Thanks, all of you. Have a nice day.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.